This episode of SpectreSoundStudios is sponsored by absolutely nobody. Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Friday. Hope you're going to have an amazing weekend. Let's get it started right with SMG Viewers Comments, episode number 193. Let's get right to it.
I am Mr. Fricker. Bill Primo here. I've been struggling to make it big into the music scene while keeping the philosophy of no pitch correction and no drum samples. The problem is it's becoming increasingly hard to go full-time in music because of so many people here who demand that I use pitch correction and sample drums. So any advice on how to deal with these type of people, like when trying to market myself as a session guitarist? Any advice would be appreciated. Thanks in advance. And hashtag fuck autotune.
Wow, I like that. Hashtag fuck autotune. I think I'm going to put that in today's tweet. Dude, yeah, if you're going to be a session guitar player, my suggestion would be just be easy to work with. If somebody wants to use autotune and pitch correction and all that crap on their record and you want to play session on that, shut your goddamn mouth and just fucking play the guitar. I mean, seriously, that's why session guitar players are so rare. I've said this numerous times. It doesn't matter if you're a great guitar player. You have to be a great guitar player who's easy to work with. That's what makes a great session player. If you're trying to make it as a producer and you're being adamant about no pitch correction, no auto-tune, that kind of, and no drum samples, all that, bullshit. Well, so many people insist on putting on their records these days. You might run into some problems, yeah. And it really comes down to choosing your battles. Maybe go look for clients who are more into the philosophy of what you're into, talk with them first, say, okay, what are you guys expecting to do? Can we do this without, resorting to any artificial bullshit? Are you guys up to it? Usually I find when you challenge most metal bands to do such a thing, they're more like, fuck yeah, we can do it. And more often than not, they're going to be into it. So there is that. But seriously, dude, good luck to you. I wish you the absolute best and utmost success, but just keep in mind, be easy to work with. And if you're playing on somebody else's session, they're the boss, not you. Just do your job.
Do egg packs do anything at all for sound? Sounds like either a brilliant hack or like something a bass player would do.
Hey, Rokas, great question. That is one of the big misconceptions about acoustics is, put up some egg cartons. Yeah, they pretty much do jack and shit. They might absorb a little bit of top end, but the problem is they're not going to touch the bass. That's going to still be bouncing around in your room, clouding up your sound really badly. You're better off to build broadband absorbers. Please see my video, how to build your own bass traps, and you got to put that shit in the corners. It's fairly simple to do. It's a little time intensive, but you can do it fairly cheap. I'll put a link in the description below if I can fucking remember by Friday morning. It's Tuesday night. I'm shooting right now and just trying to keep current on all this stuff. But yeah, seriously, bass traps, not egg cartons, are definitely the way to go. And as always, I say, if you have questions on acoustics, hit up the John Sayers Studio Design Forum. It's a wonderful resource for anything acoustics related.
Every time I watch an SMG video, I think maybe I won't start that studio business I've been pondering. Sounds like an enormous headache.
It's an enormous headache, and it can be incredibly rewarding at times. Yeah, sure, you deal with a lot of shitty bands. You wind up teaching people to play their instruments more than you wind up making awesome records. But every now and then, man, you get a band that walks through that door that just fucking gets it and nails it. I've had a few records like that, and boy, does it ever make it worth it. I'll say that. I remember doing Black Creek in 2006. We did 4 days in here, and it was the most intensely productive 4 days I think I've ever had. I had so much fun doing that record. One of the Perpetuate records was like that too, just everybody was just fucking spot on and just nailing performances, and we're just getting this awesome vibe going. So yeah, it can be an awful lot of fun. Yes, it can be tedious as fucking. Yes, the musicians will drive you out of your fucking mind, but all that makes it so much sweeter when you do get a band in that can play.
Pissed myself laughing. Your channel is fucking hilarious. So glad I joined the military and left my music as a hobby. It was easier to be shot at than babysit musicians. LOL.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, Marcus. You might have a point.
How do you win a Grammy in today's market? Record a fart and use auto-tune.
Dude, you gotta time align that shit too. It has to be perfectly on beat.
Hey Glenn, question. You say you're against sample replacement, but how do you feel about sample reinforcement? I'm talking about a real performance with only kick, snare, and tom samples tucked under the live drums. With some genres, it's almost necessary to achieve the drum sounds the fans expect, and personally, I think it's the best route to go. Love to hear your thoughts on this.
Benjamin, you just are describing the exact kind of fucking bullshit I can't stand about modern records. Oh, I'm just gonna, blend it. You know, there's a wonderful line in this song, I Can't Get Behind That. It was by William Shatner with Henry Rollins guesting. And, you know, Henry said something along the lines of, you know, if you need to quantize it, pitch correct it, overly inspect it, then you can't do it. And that's been my philosophy when it comes to recording drums. If you have to tuck a sample in there to get it to sound good, you're doing it wrong. Fucking try harder. Do it without the fucking samples, and let's hear the drummer for a change. Not the drummer plus, you know, the fucking computer enhancement bullshit that we've been hearing so fucking much. Do you want to make metal, or do you want to make EDM with distorted guitars? Get your priorities straight.
In metal, do you actually sidechain bass guitar from kick? If always heard, that makes sense with pop or electronic music, but with rock or metal, it just makes more sense to EQ that frequency out where it conflicts. I do this a lot.
Hey Shane, yeah, you're definitely on the right track. I just kind of tune the kick and the bass a little bit slightly different so they reside in different frequencies. Usually, for my mixes anyway, the kick is at the lowest point in the frequency spectrum. The bass guitar is up a little higher than the guitars. I'll rarely sidechain the kick with the bass unless maybe we're playing a slower hard rock song, something like that. Usually when there's like lots of fast double race runs and that kind of thing, I'll just like automate the kicks and drop them down a couple of dBs so they're not drowning out the rest of the mix. That's usually the best route to go. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's what works for me. Good luck, dude.
I know this is 4 years old, but holy shit! I was ranting about this yesterday. I was looking at studio monitors, and every review I saw was basically them quoting the fucking website.
Yeah, that was one of my very first Fearless Gear reviews. It wasn't even titled Fearless Gear Reviews. I've got a bunch more of those coming up. I know you guys have been seeing a few sponsored videos on this show as of late, and I do want to get away from that a little bit more than I normally would. So just a heads up. Yes, I've got some cool stuff coming up on the Valve State and the Digitech Wonder Box and a few other little goodies, maybe some software, that kind of thing. And yeah, I want to start bringing reviews back because I think that's what you guys like more. You know, it's always a balance. I have to like balance paying the bills versus, you know, being able to do what I want, but I keep my demos separate from my reviews. So when it's a review, it will say review, #not sponsored. So keep your eyes peeled for that, guys, and thanks for your patience. That, and yeah, I think Mesa really hates my guts still to this day over that video.
Glenn, do you have any videos on vocal EQ? I'm working on a song. I finally listened to you adding EQ on to my guitars, bass, and drums, and it sounds way better, but I'm having trouble getting the vocals to match. I'm using a Sterling audio condenser mic. Any help is appreciated, and fuck you, Glenn.
Hey, Sean, you know what? That Sterling mic is awesome. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I really want to get one on the show at some point. I've talked with the Sterling guys a couple times. They seem like a bunch of really good dudes, so maybe we can make that happen at some point. Normally, you know what? This is the one thing I never really wind up EQing very much is vocals. If you want some help, go check out my video, How to Record Heavy Vocals. I think we got like 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 parts in that series. Links in the description below as well. Generally though, if you want a brighter vocal sound, back off from the mic a little bit. If you want a bigger vocal sound, you know, get a little tighter. It really comes down to experimentation with that. Like I said, I don't like to fuck around with too much EQ. Maybe roll off a little bit of the low end, maybe drop some of the maybe in the 200 hertz region, try that, where maybe a shelf right around there, just to kind of clean things up a wee bit before you start, you know, adding tons of top end EQ, because that'll make shit spitty and you definitely don't want that. Experimentation's the key, and remember, there's no right answer. Just keep doing what you're doing and eventually you'll make it work.
Why have you worked with so many shitty bands? You've been scarred, Glenn.
Worked with a lot of great bands. I've just worked with a lot of shitty bass players. That's usually the case. You know, you get a band in, you know, the guitar players are brilliant, the drummer's usually pretty good, and then when it comes time to track the bass, you know, that's when the truth comes out because the guy's been playing through a shitty amp at practice. Nobody's actually really heard him before. And then everybody's looking at him, why don't you know the songs? Well, I thought I was ready, man. You know, it's common tale. I mean, like, here's some unbridled truth about all that. It's not just at the local level, it's on the major labels as well. Some of the big level projects have really crappy bass players or one musician or another who just can't keep up. It happens all the time across rock and roll. I said this once in my video, The Fans Deserve Better. I think it was that, or is How to Not Completely Suck on Bass Guitar. One of those two. About Nikki Sixx. You know, here's a guy who was, you know, utterly driven to, make it in a band. And, he was a great lyricist as well, but he really wasn't a very good bass player. And, I don't know what the deal was there, but he eventually did get better. So kudos to him. And, he's managed to have a huge career and a very long career playing in a metal band. But, first couple Motley records, though, bass playing really wasn't that good. So it definitely happens at all levels. That's just something you're going to have to deal with when you run your own studio. Oh boy, is it ever going to be so much fun.
Hey Glenn, I'm in a symphonic black death metal band. Our lead instrument is our keyboard player. He's a Korg Kronos and it's beastly. What is the best way to record an EQ for this? For our first album, we just did a DI and it didn't seem as powerful. We're going to record a couple of singles later this year and I'd love to have any input on this. Thank you and fuck you, Glenn.
Well, that's kind of cool. Usually when I'm blending keyboards in on, a big track like that, I just dump everything below 120 hertz. Like I'll just roll it off completely and try and get everything to sit in there. A little bit of chorus and reverb goes a long way. You don't need a shit ton, just a little splash just to kind of widen things up and perhaps thicken things. The other thing is just remember all those fucking symphonic tracks, what you want to do is you want to mult those all onto one fader and call it keyboards and just use your keyboard fader and turn shit up and down. Because, mixing all the little individual fiddly bits is fucking bullshit and will drive you out of your fucking mind.
Glenn, I'd like to know your opinion on a comparison between the KS Digital ADM 22s and the A7Xs, the Adams, because I've just bought a pair of the Adams and I wanted to hear what your opinion was. I haven't got mine dialed in yet, so I value your opinion because you keep it real, you keep it funny, you keep it metal, and fuck you.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, by the way, guys, if you want to get your video question in on the show, please, I'm welcoming all kinds of questions and stuff like that. I want to see you guys. I want to hear from you guys. So I'll have a link in the description below and you can submit your questions, comments, that kind of thing. If it's cool, I'll put it on the show. Anyway, he's asking about my Adam A7Xs, which I had back there last year. They're still actually back there in the soffits, but I've had the KS Digitals up for the last 6 or 7 months. And here's the honest truth. The Adam A7Xs are fucking brilliant. They're outstanding. Absolutely love them. I've mixed on a whole bunch of different sets of monitors over the years. KRK V8s, Yamaha NS10s, Alesis 0.7 studio monitors, and then what were those? What Event ASP8s? That's what I had in here. The KS Digitals are just on a completely different level. They're also several orders of magnitude more expensive than the Adams as well. Of course, the Adam S3s, I think, the big fuckers, those are really amazing too. Don't get me wrong. You absolutely are making a great choice if you go with the Adam monitors and don't think, it's like, oh, maybe I should have got this, maybe I should have got that. No. The A7Xs are absolutely phenomenal. It's just, the KSs are, like I said, a lot more expensive. They are in a different league. And I've never been more comfortable working on a set of monitors than with these guys. I can mix on these all day and they're just fucking amazing. So there is that.
Hey Glenn, love the show. I'm currently in an alternative band with a girl I met a few months ago, and things are starting to pick up for us. She's done a lot of work to get the band together, including booking shows, finding all the members, finding rehearsal space and gear, and even getting us a potential signing. There's just one major problem. She can barely play guitar and refuses to practice. Hell, I play keyboards and I'm probably a better guitarist than she is. I value her a lot as a friend. She's really the only friend I have in here since other than my roommate, and think she could be a great musician, but she refuses to put the effort in and even acted offended when I said she needed to practice every day. I'm wondering what's the best way to convince her to practice without coming across as a dick. I don't want to kick her out because of the band. She's really her baby, but she hasn't put the work into being a musician the same level as the rest of our members, which is a deal breaker for me and the other members. Thanks.
Well, Max, you know what? You don't have to come across as a dick. If you would get her attention and bring her in front of the screen, I'd be more than happy to convey a little helpful hint to her. Hey, dumbass! Maybe you should fucking practice. You'll be a better guitar player. Stop sitting on your ass playing fucking video games. Get your act together and fucking practice. They're gonna fucking kick you out if you don't. Hopefully that helps.
How are you enjoying Cubase so far? Making a switch or expanding the toolbox?
So far, just expanding the toolbox. I think if you're going to be a well-rounded engineer, you should probably learn more than one system. I used to work with Saw Studio for years. I worked with Cakewalk. I also know Harrison Mixbus, Reaper, and learning Studio One and Cubase kind of all at the same time. I'm really digging it. I'm just liking the fact of how it's laid out, and it's super easy to grab an EQ and just make really fast adjustments. And, I like the waveform display and just how the whole layout, it's really, really fucking cool. So I haven't tried the editing system or tracking anything in it yet. So that's the big question mark at this point. So far, I really like working in Reaper, especially for tracking and editing. Like I said, I think Cakewalk's mix window is a little more efficient, but then again, Reaper really allows for some customization. So maybe I should try exploring a few ways to make Reaper a little bit more efficient when it comes to mixing.
One small detail, the plugins inside the major and fairly pricey DAWs are often not worse than the commercial additional ones. Don't get me wrong, I love Cubase, it's my DAW since the 90s, but if you're on a budget, Reaper Plus, for example, a Waves bundle on sale would cost less than half of Cubase Artist and a third of Pro. Again, I love Cubase, but most people who have to use stock plugins or freebies do maybe not own Cubase, Logic PT, and the like. Sound-wise, your tutorial was nice, even if very basic. I know we all started at some point.
Yeah, hey, Pete, about the basic bit of that, I'm building on something. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be 3-4 parts. I'm not sure how I'm going to continue on that because the last video honestly didn't do all that well, which is kind of a drag. So if you guys want to see more of that drum tutorial, please leave a comment and let me know. That's the question I'm going to put to you guys. I see sales on Waves plugins go up all the time. I think this week they got like the SSL channel and the CLA 76, probably two of their best plugins are on sale for like $29 each. I mean, like, seriously, it's a fucking steal. Again, more links in the description below. Go check them out. I think they're still on sale by the time this airs. We'll see. The point is, if you guys want to get alerts on sales, like on awesome plugins for dirt cheap, follow my Twitter. I'll put some links up when cool stuff comes out if you guys would be interested in that. Again, please let me know in the comments.
Cakewalk is now free and has all these tools in their Pro channel strip, including SSL and Neve/bus channel emulation.
That's the thing. I used to use Cakewalk. I was using Cakewalk when I first built this place back in 2003. I worked with it in here for about a year and a half before I switched over to Saw Studio. Saw Studio at the time was just fucking next level stuff. So that's why I made that switch. But that's pretty cool. Actually, I've heard a lot about it being free after, Gibson bought it and fucked it up and closed it. So now they're just giving it away or something like that. I really should investigate. I should probably do an episode on it. I bet you it's pretty damn cool. You know what? I think I'll add that to the list of shit I should check out. But yeah, maybe that's something you guys can check out in the meantime. Yeah, if you don't have a lot of cash, check out Cakewalk for free. Might be pretty badass.
Hey Glenn, what about a competition where you give everyone a bunch of, say, a dozen stems in their natural recorded state and they do a mix with their DAWs and then submit to you to be judged? Tony in London, UK, home of proper fish and chips.
Hey Tony, wonderful suggestion and fuck you! No way in hell, man. I did a drum mixing contest with Toman last year and we made the stems available and it got so many fucking entries, and it was like the only reason I didn't get deluged with thousands because the mailbox filled up and nobody could submit anymore. So no, not a fucking chance, because if I did that, I wouldn't have time to do the show. And believe me, if I don't listen to every fucking mix, boy, do people get pissed off. I actually had to recruit some friends to help me go through all these mixes, and then I could make an evaluation out of that. Fluff's done like riff contests where they get like 30,000 entries or something like that. I just simply don't have the time to do a contest like that. It would be cool, but my job is making videos, not reviewing, 10,000 mixes or something like that. So unfortunately, I have to say no.
Hey Glenn, I'm in a band and the singer sucks. I mean, he really sucks. However, he's my best friend and quite honestly, the only friend from my school I have left after going to virtual school. My question is, should I use autotune and really keep him as a friend, or tell him he sucks ass and possibly lose my last public school friend?
Well, what do you want more? Do you want friends or you want a great band? Ask yourself that. What's more important? The other thing is, you could drag them to vocal lessons. Blows me away how many singers out there have never fucking taken vocal lessons. They certainly not going to hurt. In the meantime, my suggestion would be check out The Zen of Screaming. It's by Melissa Cross. It's a downloadable DVD. There's amazing information in there about how to get your diaphragm working as a bellows and develop a lot more strength. I've seen it do wonders on weak singers and just bring massive strength to them, like in a matter of weeks. That would be my first suggestion before throwing him out. At least investigate that possibility of, making him into a better vocalist.
Glenn, my bass player bailed on practice because he's getting a haircut.
Haircuts, what a waste of time.
Before you know it, smoking in the boys' room is going to have to be changed to vaping in the gender neutral safe zone.
Aaron, you fucking rule, dude. That was like the best comment I've seen in a very long time. That was fucking awesome. All right, everybody, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for all the comments, all the questions, and those video submissions as well. I really like putting those in. Once again, I want to hear from you guys. I want to see you guys. Send me some fucking cool video questions. I'll put them in the show. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Till then, Hasadigi boy. Hey guys, if you like the video, be sure to subscribe as I post every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. If you want to learn more about recording, check out one of my tutorials or one of my gear reviews if you want the actual honest truth about a piece of equipment. Till next time, stay metal, my friends.